Hello, everybody, and welcome to the SeeWDW Near and Far Parks and Socials edition for the week of 9/13. And today we are going to talk about John's week in the parks and how his socials have been doing. And with that said, John, how did your week in the parks go?
Well, it's been a while, so I don't know when the last time we left off. So I am going to start, and I'm not going to go into it too much, but I'm going to do a little bit of horror nights. And the reason I'm going to do it is for the benefit of anyone listening and for your benefit, because you will be going down there in another week or so for
Mm-hmm.
horror nights. So one thing that I learned, I got stuck in traffic. Not this particular one. I was at a different entrance, and I made the mistake of being in one of these inner lanes. And the reason I did was, um, well, it doesn't really matter, but I think my wife had said she tried to go to the outer lane last time and it didn't move. And I was like, all right, I'm like one over. It's all good. Always go to the left or right because you can see from this picture here, one lane turns into one, two, three, four lanes.
Mm.
Always do that. You'll save so much time. And the same thing typically happens on the left. So you just don't really want to be in the middle. Stick to the sides. It'll be much better. In this one, there's also a team member uh, parking lot / pull off on the left. So either side though is going to work. If you get stuck in one of these lanes and then trying to move over is very difficult too. So I know you're not driving, but I just want to remind anyone who is driving that, yeah, I spent 40 minutes in line on the night that those were taken. But and as far as horror nights go, I just have a few tips. I'm not going to get into my nights too much because we're going to do that after you see horror nights too. But there's a couple things. Here's one, and I know you're going to get it anyway, but I've been told on Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, Sunday, Sunday, Wednesday, or Thursday, you don't really need Express. It is better. But if you don't have Express, you kind of need to wait till the end of the night to hit the difficult houses if you actually want to do everything. Like they've been staying open till two o'clock, and that's even on the non Saturday Sunday nights, which they didn't used to do that. And from what I hear from people, from 12 to 2, you can really get a lot of houses. So I mean, if you wait for the more crowded houses between 12 and 2, it has been almost a walk on when it's that late at night. Like you can just go right through. Although, when I say walk on, just remember you might be walking a half a mile through the queue to get to it. So it's still not quick, but for those who haven't been there, you go in the line and then you go behind buildings and you just walk and walk and walk and walk. And obviously, bring comfortable shoes because the amount of walking is unbelievable.
Yeah, like it's what Disney would call backstage, and literally it's in studio, like backstage studios, right? Like that's exactly where they put these things on. So it's like a multi-million-dollar movie set behind backstage that you go into every time. So yeah, lots of walking.
So I also wanted to remind you too that I know you're not a big Harry Potter fan or
Oh, I
whatever,
like
but
I like Harry Potter.
well,
Yeah, it's all right.
normally Diagon Alley during horror nights, there's nothing there. It's empty. You can ride the ride if you want, but nothing's going on. Death Eaters do wander around back there, but honestly, if you don't see the show, it doesn't look like what all the social media people post. it's just guys walking around mostly. There's no big thing. I'm sure they do have a show that's 2 minutes at some point, and then they scatter, and then they come back and forth. So it's not super exciting. I went through, I think, twice, and you see the people walk again. This is about what you're gonna see. And there he goes, walking away. And again, I, you know, everyone's standing around him videotaping him, and he just walks away. I'm like, it's an awkward thing. So, and that's me with the phone doing it too. So yeah, I'm part of it. But I'm like, everyone's like, do a trick, do a trick. It's like, and so the show is cool, but I see all these people posting, like videos of them around every corner coming out, and I'm like, in reality, there's just people standing everywhere pointing their phone at him, and it isn't what they show. And while I'm mentioning that, I might as well say too, I've been through every house. None of them look like the staged walkthrough that the media people get to go and then show everybody too. So that's kind of when you walk through, you may or may not see a lot of scares. Like a lot of times, I walk slow so that people go away from me in the front, but then still sometimes I get the scares, but a lot of times they'll be like, oh, all right, somebody walked by, and then they go behind me, and sometimes I end up getting even less scares. But instead of it looking like what they show you on the staged social media stuff, you might see very little on some, depending on what's going on and the timing of who gets what. And so don't depend on it being like that either, which I know you already know.
Yeah. In fact, you remember when we went through the couple of years ago, the Texas Chainsaw House, I kind of walked slow because I sort of wanted my wife to get some of the scares, And
I was going to say, having her behind me is a good idea because I'll go real slow too, and then they always get the people behind me in the group. So
yeah,
but I just like going through slow because when you run through, you don't see it. When you go through slow, although
right.
the other problem that I have though is when you're going through slow and the person in front of you gets away, I've already been in spots where I can't tell where to go. I'm like,
I've done that too. Yes.
I can't figure. I start walking into the scare spots. Like, but
the Chupacabra house was like that for me last year, in a couple spots actually. So
yeah, and I think the only other real tip that I have for you, for Stay and Scream, we did Stay and Scream the last time we went, and we ended up we went to the Stranger Things queue, even though we saw it already because my daughter and her friends were there, and my wife wanted to hang out with her. But our plan was, once we start going, we're going to use Express because why would we wait? But we got up to the part where they have Express, and we asked somebody. We said, "Are they running Express for Stay and Scream, like the earlier parts?" And the team members said no, and we were like, "Oh, all right, we'll just wait in line." So after like 20 minutes, we're seeing people walk by the Express line, and I'm like, "We waited an hour again for Stranger Things, and we didn't have to wait at all." And then that backup calls other backups, even in the Express for other stuff. So once again, I make a lot of dumb mistakes. And again, that's one that if you do Stay and Scream, and if you want to do Stranger Things first and get it out of the way, because it's one of the more popular ones, even with Express, I would use it because otherwise, if you use it, Stay and Scream, you'll be able to do like 3 or 4 houses easily before the main people even get in with the Express you're going to have. So I would highly recommend still use it on that. And honestly too, it's not one of my favorite houses, even if you really love Stranger Things. This is the third time they did it, and out of the three, I think this is the third best one. It's actually, I think, shared. It's a shared soundstage with another house, which means I think they couldn't use one this year, so they needed space. It's like half a house lengthwise. It's not that long,
Hmm.
but my goodness, do you wait for that? So I would, if you do Stay and Scream, I would just use your Express and go through it because it's not waiting an hour for that is ridiculous. And then, like I said, it's a cascading effect. Then there were bottlenecks at the other ones that were open for Stay and Scream, and we ended up. It wasn't bad, but again, I wish I would have known, and now I do. So next time I won't ask. I'll just go to Express and say, now, if you do Stay and Scream and you're doing another house first, like I don't know, they've got a bunch, but the other ones you probably don't need it. You'll walk right through, no problem.
Hmm.
You know? But with Stranger Things, people are just focused on that one, so it's the most difficult one to go in. If I were doing it again, I would probably do other houses first and honestly wait for midnight. If I was gonna be there late, I'd make Stranger Things one of the last houses I did.
I have a, where's it located at in relation to another attraction, a normal attraction?
It's the one that you go through the Jimmy Fallon queue to get in. So
Okay.
it's back by behind you walk underneath like Rip Ride Rocket and stuff. It's one of those back in there. But there's like
Hmm.
three or four of them now back
Hmm.
there, but that's one of them.
That'll be one of the last ones I do anyways. That's up there by the where the store used to be, right? The tribute store used to be right there on that
Oh
corner,
yeah,
right?
yep. And the tribute store is back there again.
Oh, it is still there? Okay. Okay, cool.
It wasn't the last couple, but it just got
I
back.
don't yeah, I do Stay and Scream, and basically I didn't pay for it this year because it sounds like if you buy Express Pass, you automatically get it. Plus, I have tickets.
Yeah,
But
all you need is the tickets. It doesn't even
yeah,
matter with Express Pass.
right.
If you have a ticket to be in the park by 5 o'clock, you can get in. You just scan in with your Horror Nights ticket to get into the corral. So
Right. So basically what I do is I go back by Simpsons Land, like I go into that queue that takes you to the last couple houses, and that's where I start based on your recommendation 2 years, 3 years ago now. And I'm telling you, that's the way to go. I've got every year I get every house done. And that's by midnight usually. Uh, and that's with Express Pass, but I didn't even use Express Pass for the first two houses last year. So
I don't follow my own advice. I just do dumb things
I know. Well,
follow
that's all
people. But
right. Hey,
yeah,
it
I was gonna
happens.
say this is some Vamp 69. That's my favorite scare zone so far. But anyway, this podcast is not about Horror Nights. Well, a little bit. But,
Yeah, yeah.
so I am going to go on to something else. Oh, that's at the bottom. All right. I'm only going to do a couple days of going to the parks because I don't want to drag this thing out. This past Monday, I went to um, Epcot to do another preview of Journey of Water. And
Mhm.
this time I went with a group of people. There was probably like, I don't know, either 8 or 10 of us, something like that. There was an older couple, a girl with two small kids, and, some like four people my age. It was a real mixed group. And I can tell you that it kind of surprised me that most of them were not that impressed. They were just kind of, eh. And the kids, the youngest kid was afraid of the stuff.
Mm.
The other one's not. The I don't know how old this one is, but he liked getting wet. But again, it isn't. He didn't really want to stay long or anything. Though he was fine leaving. Like he went through, did it, stopped in some water, and was ready to go. So I was like, huh. I really thought they'd get more excited about it, but maybe because they live in Florida and have their own swimming pool and stuff, they're not as impressed. I don't know. Maybe kids from around the country would be more excited. But anyway, I went through again, and my my wife and daughter weren't that impressed. They were like, so I don't know. Maybe I was a little optimistic about the whole thing. I try to stay positive because my natural state is a pessimistic side usually. So, but anyway, I still like it. But I was surprised that they weren't that impressed. They walked through it, looked at the stuff, and they went over and rode Finding Nemo. The kids wanted to ride that, so that's what we did next. Got a nice monorail shot. Sun there. I always like that one. I always get lucky at that spot. And then we went back to the British Pavilion, the England, UK, third time works. And they were playing, I don't know what band it is, but because I thought they got rid of the British invasion, but basically they're playing British songs. So, but they were back there, so we listened to that for a while. And I was going to say, look how the sky was, blue. The sun was setting. It was such a nice night that it wasn't that hot. And I thought, we're going to stay and watch the fireworks because it's so rare we do it. And I like Epcot forever. So we decided to stay. And I actually tried some stuff. I was going to get Tangerine Cafe, which is nothing new. It's like the lemon chicken kebabs or whatever. And there was a bunch of people in there and the line wasn't moving. And I stood there for about 3 minutes and nobody got any food. And I said, yeah, let's just go. I don't like to wait. And so we went down and Greece had no line. And I saw lamb gyro. And I was like, oh, I like lamb gyro. That sounds good. And so that's what I got. And I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. It was just a traditional gyro, nothing special about it, but tasted great. And I didn't have to wait forever to get it. So I thought that was really nice. So I wanted to say from there, I was looking out. I was looking at Spaceship Earth. And I noticed, see the
look at that clouds. Yeah.
See the lightning starting? The clouds, they actually started engulfing, it was blue sky, but you could see it wrapping around. And I was like, oh no. And then I looked, I was like, well, hopefully it's not going to rain. Because I'm at Epcot, it's blue skies, it's a beautiful night. And all of a sudden, you just see lightning flashing everywhere. And let's see. But so we kept walking. And then we went by the Germany caramel place.
Werther's. It's Werther's, right?
Yep. And I got a nice caramel popcorn for later. I just put it in my bag to take it home. They were popping it fresh, and I saw them I don't have it on film, but a stick of butter, like the biggest stick of butter I've ever seen. It probably was like a 10-pound brick of butter went into this circular thing, and then some caramel. And I'm like, that's why it's so good. Like it is just pure butter and caramel. Just they're not holding back at all. Because again, for how small this popcorn cooker was, that was a lot of butter. My goodness. But anyway. The reason we went in is that I told my daughter that I heard they had a caramel butter bar that has pumpkin spice.
Oh, wow.
And dude, there it is. Werther's original pumpkin caramel butter bar. So they have a pumpkin one for all your regular girls out there who just like everything pumpkin. And so she got that, and she said it was super, super good. I did try a bite of it. It's so sweet, but good though.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think there's still some of it in the refrigerator, but the Werther's butter bars are already good. And after seeing that stick of butter they put in with the popcorn, they're not kidding. I
Yeah.
guarantee that half the weight of that thing is pure butter, butter and caramel. So yeah, you're not going to ever leave the caramel cooch any healthier than when you went in. But yeah, there's a picture of the pumpkin butter bar.
Wow.
So it's good, but I don't even know if you ate that whole thing. I bet it'd make you sick. It's probably like a half butter, which your system probably can't handle all at once. But anyway,
You'd probably have a heart. You'd have a heart attack, right? I mean, there's all that butter and stuff.
I was gonna say some people would. I'm actually lucky because my cholesterol has been high since I was like 30. My doctor's like, "Oh, you're gonna die. You need to change your diet and this and that." And I kept thinking, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I don't do that. And then I'm like, yeah, I should. And to this day, my doctor, they're like, oh, your cholesterol's high. It's like, I've been hearing this forever. He said, well, we could do like a cardiogram or it's like an MRI kind of thing on your heart where they inject you with dye so they can check and see. Turns out my arteries are perfectly clear. And one of my favorite things to eat is peanut butter, just pure saturated fat. Just that's a heart attack waiting to happen. Somehow I'm one of the lucky people. Some people are prone to this stuff and some people aren't. Apparently I'm not, because I'm almost 50 and my arteries are perfectly clear, and my diet is I don't give a crap. I will eat. I like butter, bacon. You know what I put in my coffee? Heavy whipping cream. That's all that I put in there. And I go through half a gallon of that a week, putting it in my coffee. That's all I have in my coffee. It's like, and then the yogurt that I get, I don't get the fat free. I get the highest percentage fat I can find, 5%. That's the good stuff, And again, I was so relieved when I heard that. I went out and bought a container of peanut butter to eat. When I heard that I'm all right, because I'm like, well, this is going to be telling. I know I was told my whole life, you got to stop. And it's like, well, I'm one lucky guy. But I always hear that though too. You ever hear about, the old woman who lived to be 110? She eats bacon every day and eggs, butter by the slab, and she doesn't care about anything. She doesn't, and it's like she lives forever. So I don't know. I don't understand it, but
my Swedish / Russian great grandmother was lived on a farm, had bacon every day, rolled her own cigarettes, smoked cigarettes every day, like real tobacco. She had eggs that she cooked in lard. She lived to be I think 103 or 104. So
yeah, my grandfather was like that too. He had a whole drawer full of chocolate bars and this, like all the worst stuff for you. He was in his 80s, still mowing his own grass and smoking cigarettes. And he said, I've never been in the hospital a day in my life. And he's in his 80s. He said these cigarettes, they kill germs. And I was like, he said you don't have to worry about virus, bacteria. He goes, the cigarettes kill all the bad stuff. And I'm like, all right. YouTube will probably make sure this is demonetized.
Probably.
I'm quoting somebody else.
Yeah, me too.
There were no studies done to prove he was right.
No.
lived to be in his 80s, and he did not. He lived a healthy 80
Yeah.
some years before. And in the end, he paid all this money for really good health insurance, and then he went to the hospital, and I think they wanted to do a colonoscopy on him, and he said no, and they're like, "Well, we need to. We got to figure out what's wrong." And he said, "No, I don't think so." He went home and died.
Oh, jeez.
So he just refused care in the end anyway.
Oh.
I remember his daughter was so mad that they wouldn't even help him back in the house. So he crawled back into his house. He's like, "I'm going anyway." I was going one way or the other. They thought they could scare him by not helping him, but
Wow.
yeah, that's the crazy lineage I come from. Most of my grandparents chose to die. They were like, "Nah." Oh, and my grandmother on my mom's side, she had really bad circulation in one of her legs, and they
Uh,
said, we need to amputate your leg, or you're gonna die from this. Like, this is not savable. She said, "I'd rather die than be crippled." And then she did, because they made my mom sign something. My mom said, "Yeah, she's not senile at all. She's of clear mind. It's her decision, right? Like,
uh,
she decided it." But so yeah, I come from a long line of crazies, but
or tough. That's tough.
yeah, I guess it used to be called grit. But
Yeah.
so anyway, I'm walking through World Showcase. And you can see the lightning. Like, this is like blue sky here, but these clouds coming in the background, there's lightning all over in there.
It looks
So
like something out of a horror movie.
yeah, it just keeps going. But I was still hungry, so I got to India, and I really wanted to try the chicken tikka masala, and so I ended up getting that. Let's see, fennel spiced yogurt and naan bread, and it comes in some kind of lentil or rice too. But anyway, it was $6.25. There wasn't a lot of chicken to it, but it was a big plate, and it was a lot of rice, and the curry was spicy, and I really did like it. I ate all of it. I thought it was great.
Hmm.
So, and that's another one where there's not big lines at India. I don't know why people just don't like Indian food, I guess. But man, so I recommend, if you don't like waiting in lines, the chicken masala was good, and the gyro from Greece was good too, and didn't really have to wait for those, because some of these places was just outrageous. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, then we cut through Connections Cafe, so I walked past the mural going out. I was looking for a hidden Mickey the whole time. They just didn't have space for one, I guess.
There's got to be one in there somewhere.
If they didn't, that's a I don't know.
It's a foul.
They must have been told not to. Is that the airport? Oh,
it does look like the airport, doesn't it?
hey, by the way, Zach Ridley. I don't think I said it on the podcast. He stopped following me.
I know, you told me.
Like a year or two. He got promoted to, like, I don't know, international design vice president or something. All of a sudden, I'm out on Instagram. No more following me. So, but what are you gonna do? I still have Neil Patrick Harris, so he's more popular anyway. But
That's right. Yes.
I always felt bad about the Zach Ridley, though, because I didn't follow him and he was following me, and I used to talk a lot of crap on him about everything he's involved is just terrible. And he'd be like, "Look, we have a new design on the floor," and I'd be like, "Oh man, this isn't the guy."
He finally caught up to you.
Yeah, it's kind of a relief for me, because again, I followed him and I was like, "Oh no, Zach's great," I guess, because But now I don't have to be nice. I
Yeah.
don't really. I'm not real impressed with a lot of stuff he's done. But yeah, you can see the lights flashing here too as I'm walking down by Spaceship Earth. It's
Uh-huh.
really getting flashy, and the flags are blowing, and yeah, here you can really see it lit up, and yeah, it's amazing. Like it's like its own light show as you're going by. It's just flashing and flashing and flashing, and I could see it going around Epcot, just encircling it, like the dark clouds are encircling it. And so, by this time it was 8:30, and this major storm is pretty much inevitable. I looked at the radar on the weather app, and it was a huge storm coming in, and I'm like, they're not going to have the fireworks, like, and we're going to end up sitting here and then getting out real late. I was like, let's just try to outrun the fireworks, which or outrun the thunderstorm, which we've done a lot. Like so often when I go to watch fireworks, a big storm comes in right around 9 o'clock. It was only like a few weeks ago, probably I was at Magic Kingdom and we were going to watch the fireworks, and instead we're hurrying back to the parking lot because the the clouds are coming. But yeah, you can see some of it there. It's just lightning, lightning, lightning. Like there's, and so we ended up leaving, and it was so bad I couldn't even see. Like there were parts of the drive once it hit where the rain was just going sideways and forward. Like I was probably down to like 20 miles an hour at one point on the highway, just staring at the white line, like leaning forward. Like I could not see with the wind, brand new windshield wipers on high. It's Florida rainstorms are just bad. And I posted about it, and I had a lot of people say that it was like being in a hurricane or something. They're like, it's one of the worst storms they've seen in a while. So,
Wow.
but yeah, driving through that stuff is terrible. But anyway, we made it home. It took a little longer because of the storm. So, and now yesterday I went to my favorite place. Really love
Oh,
Disney Springs. I
yeah.
go there. So, but oh, there's my dog. I guess she likes Disney Springs too.
She must.
So anyway, I went to Disney Springs. I did a lot of waiting around, and here's the sad part: Disney Springs is empty. So we could have eaten anywhere, but we were meeting my daughter's friend, and she had her husband, and she had her son, and then there was another person with her. So, and they were, they all planned on eating at Blaze Pizza, and I'm like, I walked around and I looked, and Art Smith's Homecoming was empty, and I'm like, oh, we could. Morimoto Asia was empty. Even the T Rex looked like it had loads of space, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to be eating it at Blaze Pizza. Which again, I find it just okay. It's to me, it feels like low quality toppings on a quick pizza that they make to whatever you want. It's like it's all right. It's definitely not great, but anyway, that's the problem. That's why that first time I ever met you in person was at Chef Art Smith's.
We
Like,
went to
man, I wanted
Chef.
to
Yep.
go. Oh, I'll meet you there. I never
Yep.
get to go anywhere good.
And that meal was absolutely great. And I haven't been back because it's been packed every time.
Well, I during the week, during the day,
Hmm.
it's empty. Yeah, so Blaze Pizza. Eh,
I like Blaze Pizza. I ate there with the family. It was good for the family.
okay if nothing else is available and you're hungry,
Yeah.
but everything's available, and man, I even have hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards for T-Rex or rainforest because I haven't gotten to be able to use them yet. And that doesn't go far. $100 will get like 2 people a meal. So it's.
That's true.
But anyway, while I was there, I was looking at the T-Rex Cafe, and I walked up and I was looking, and I'm like, I and of course I didn't get wide angle. I was gonna say my videos of T-Rex and rainforest did really good on YouTube before, and I'm so dumb. Next time I'm bringing my regular camera that I could do like a wide angle walkthrough. But I started walking around in there, and once I got past the podium, I looked just like anyone else who's eating there who got up to record a minute before they go and sit down.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was pretty cool though, because I was wandering around in there just recording, and I don't know if you can see. It really wasn't. It really wasn't that full. But the whole back area was basically empty. Why did that look like the same video? Anyway, I did get some cool footage of like the ice room and stuff. I basically walked all over in there because again, hold on a sec.
Man, it does really look nice though.
Yeah, look how
I mean, it looks empty, and it looks like everything looks good just on your camera.
Yeah, I gotta say, I really like. I know a lot of people make fun of these type of restaurants, but I like this one too. I think it's so well themed. I know the food's probably not the greatest, but man, all those dinosaurs and ice rooms, and I need to put up a video. But when I was in there, they actually started having the thunderstorm too in here. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah, even the ice room, there's seating available everywhere.
Wow.
But see, I couldn't have went here because all those people are with me, and then I probably would have had to pay for all them, which would have been like $500 here. So that's way too much.
Yeah, I understand that. I hear you there.
Yeah, I don't know where the heck the brainstorm video is, but anyway, that ended up being the highlight of my trip to Disney Springs, and part of it was because of this. It started with the thunderstorm, and yeah, look how cool that ice room looks in the thunderstorm. It changes color, flashes, very cool. I should have walked right into the ice room. I regret it now. I was trying to record it from away, but if I had a time machine, I'd go right back in and walk right through the ice room during that storm. But I actually want to go back to Disney Springs again and bring my brand new action camera that does good in lower light and get the wide angle walking around in there. And this could finally get me a YouTube video that gets some views again because people love this stuff.
Yeah, it always did well. Always did well when you.
Rainforest and T-Rex, they did great, Space Mountain with the lights on, 24 views. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Incredible Hulk coaster, 200 views.
Yeah,
I don't know. You can't even get that video, and yet nobody cares. But
yeah,
but a video anybody can get at T-Rex. Wow, that's a big one. So anyway, we looked around here a little bit after we ate and left. And since we were right down the street from it, we decided to go to Universal. And, we got to Universal around 4 o'clock, and there were two things I wanted to do: a Velocicoaster, because I haven't done it in a while, and I keep thinking I need to try my new camera out on there. So I did that, and let's see, I can actually show you what that looked like. Let's see. Yeah, look, since I was in the back, you could actually see the dinosaurs on the side.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever actually ride this one? Or
No,
this
I
is
haven't.
all right. Yeah, see here you can see the dinosaurs running on the side. And in the queue you can see that part too, and you can see the thing go by. So there's the dinosaur running up ahead. Nobody is sitting next to me. And yeah, look, I'm back on the back. I'm near the back row. But
Oh wow. I love that. That
yeah,
is
look
so
how cool
cool.
that. Hey, I bet this will get 103 views.
But it does. I think the perspective from the back row is so great. And
Oh, yeah.
people I think they don't do that. They always want the front row. But I think
Yeah.
seeing people and seeing the train, the way this
The only
train is
problem is,
structured.
like right here, it's so rough. I couldn't quite hold on to it. Like that, I messed up the view right there for a minute. Like I lost it, and that's because the back is so rough that it was like whoa. But like some of these, like you see the people with their arms out, that looks great. Look at that. The
Yeah.
people in the front, just with their arms out, and you can see them. And
Now, is
this
this on
part,
your wrist or on you? Is that where you have it?
well,
Okay, never mind. we won't. We, we won't go
yes,
any further.
it's strapped down and secure.
Yes.
Because I listened to the announcements and they said
Yes.
no loose items are allowed.
Okay.
So I didn't have any loose items.
Very good.
Yeah, everybody wants to know how I do it. So you have to know somebody. To just go up to the the team member and give them $20 and say, "Yeah, I'll
That's
just
how you
get the
do it.
camera through."
I've
That's
heard
looking
they.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Yeah, definitely do that. And I am just joking, but not that it matters anyway. Because of videos like this, Universal will never, ever, ever, ever invite me to a media preview or event or anything else. But here's the double edged sword: you do videos that get you views and actually make you money and stuff, or you follow the rules and your account is no better than anybody else's and you just stay stuck. So it's a double edged sword. And nothing I can do about it, really. I need to make good videos. And speaking of that too, the amount of people that they invited as media to Horror Nights this year, I'm sure none of them follow me. My video of Horror Nights did better than almost all of them. I just did a little quick montage of opening night. I probably did better than 80% of the media people they invited in to give them staged stuff and everything else. And again, I am bitter about it because it just makes me mad. But what I exchange following the rules to going to getting invited to get fake staged Death Eaters and houses? No, because what would be on my account if I followed the rules? At Universal, you're not allowed to record most rides. They say you can. You're not allowed to record high in the sky trolley train ride. It's a baby ride. There's a
That's
sign right
right.
on it. You can't
Yeah.
record it. Like they don't stop you anymore, but you can't. So my account would basically be me going, I like Universal. Look, here's the restaurant out front. It's like nobody would follow it. So
You could
that's
make
the thing.
stupid looks and
Well,
expressions, you
but
know?
you know who they invited a lot, and some of these people I'm friends with too, like Disneyland people. They actually invited people who mostly cover Disneyland to Universal. So if I didn't cover Universal, I might get invited to a media event since I didn't break any of the rules, maybe. But again, I don't know. I heard they don't invite Rick's Flicks, who his life is Universal. He pushes them. He he does live streams. He does videos. He does news. He's all about it. But I heard that he doesn't even do what I do. He doesn't break any rules. But I heard years ago he was trying to figure out how to monetize his following and make money. And he said, well, how about I offer tours of Universal? Like maybe I can make money doing like tours. Turns out that's very much against the rules for Universal. So he's like blacklisted, just like Tim Tracker. He might be one of the biggest vloggers around, but they're like, nah, blacklisted. So when I heard that, I'm like, my God, I have videos up that I'm not supposed to have all over. Rick's Flicks has one strike. I probably have like 170 strikes. I'm like, I'm basically doomed. I might as well just forget about that. I think I should start leaning into it and say, if you want to see the real Universal, follow me. And when Epic Universe, I'm going to try to show you everything, whatever I can. And again, not in a way that ruins it. Like even my Velocicoaster doesn't ruin anything for people. It makes them excited for it. It's not something that you can look at and go, oh, I don't need to ride it now. It's like, no, that's good stuff, But anyway, the next thing that we decided to do, well, we went into All Hallows Eve. And I'm sorry about the dog. I'm sure she won't stop now till I stop podcasting. But the next thing we did was go to Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls, and I actually got on it this time.
Wow.
So yeah, I was looking at some of the posters in the Express line. Saw Wars. Yeah, they're making fun of some popular movies. Silence of the something. But Silence of the Hams, yeah. But anyway, I got to ride it, and I don't know why exactly. I didn't get a lot of video footage on it, and I had it set up well. But they literally, I think they were telling my wife had a hat on, and we had a camera mounted there, so it was like a hands-free kind of deal. And they kept telling her to take the hat off, and the other person in the boat with us had a hat on, and they didn't have to take their hat off. And anyway, sometimes you get team members that aren't very nice. And when I was on this in the winter, I was right up front and I did the entire ride through. Not a single person said a word to me. Everything was perfectly cool. But this time, there must have been some pleasant people there. But anyway, I got this part though, because by the time you another rule, can't do that. But you know what I noticed though? These people who love the rules so much, like these are probably the people who were so happy when the government told them what they should and shouldn't do, and what type of remedies to get for everything. And basically you don't have to think for yourself. Let the government do it for it. That big corporations will tell you what's right and wrong. I'm a more rebellious guy. That's why from my generation, when your mom would say, don't do something, you'd be like, oh, that's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Yep.
When you say no cameras, you're going to be like, how am I going to get a camera? It's like,
yeah,
that's what I do. But anyway, these young people are such conformists, and so they love the rules. They love their masters, and they'd want to do anything to please them. Like they think that they're doing something good. I'm beginning to see more of that on my accounts finally, where they're like, how do you do that? You can't do that. Like it's like I really have no tolerance for that kind of thing, you know.
Hmm.
And I hate too when people say, "How do you sneak something in like that?" Like they think I'm sneaking my phone onto Velocicoaster, which honestly I wouldn't do, because if I drop my phone, I could hurt somebody, and not only am I going to be banned for life, I'm going to go to prison probably for breaking rules and hurting people and this and that. Like that ride is way too crazy. Um, but anyway, yeah, the people are getting absolutely, the lovers of rules are really getting excited lately about rules and following rules and stuff. So I guess I'm just a rule breaker.
Yeah, but you hit it just right. We always look for a way, right?
Yeah, I don't like being told what to do and not to do. But like I said, I wouldn't do anything to endanger anybody or anything. Like if I if I drop my camera on something, it's not going to hurt anybody. You know, like it's one of those deals where there's nothing to drop, but even if there was, it you know there's no physical harm going to come to anybody. So, and I think if that wasn't the case, I think they would probably have to do something about that too. But
Hmm.
anyway, we were walking past the pass holder lounge, and my wife said, "Is that new?" And I was like, "I said I had it on my account months ago." I said, maybe if you followed my account, you would know. It's not want to be a wise guy about it.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, I also saw while waiting for Dudley Do Rights, very large men being placed right in the first seat. Like people that were taller than me, heavier than me, just bigger all around. And it reminded me of when I said I would like the front seat, and they said, "No, you won't fit." And I was like, "I wrote it before." And they said, "No, you won't fit." And I'm like, I saw them, squishing people right in there. So I don't know. A lot of weird stuff at Dudley Do Rights. But I was
Mhm.
quite happy that I got a nice video from the back of Velocicoaster.
Yeah, which it is a great, really awesome video.
Yeah, so hopefully I can get some views on it. Maybe I don't get views because people report it and say, "Oh, this is
Yeah, they
nice."
don't like the fact that you're able to sneak something on there.
I don't sneak it though. I walk right in front. I show it to the people and walk right through the metal detector. So, and just so everybody knows too, my earliest videos were camera glasses, and you're allowed to have glasses and hats on there. And
Yeah.
if your glasses fall off, they don't hurt anybody. They just kind of float gently to the ground and land down there, and you never get it back. So you lose an expensive pair of glasses.
And you can buy those camera glasses for, $50 from Amazon,
I
some of them.
recommend the Ray Bans. They were like 300, but they almost seem like they have stabilization in them. Like they
Yeah.
have high quality video. And
And this is what they look like. Exactly like this, right?
yep, they
And
do.
right there is where right there is where the camera thing is, where it would be located.
Yep.
They're the same glasses that I'm wearing, except they have cameras in them. These ones don't.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Something like that, they might frown upon it, but as long as it's not a loose article and it's
Hmm.
not going to hurt anybody, it's not metal. It's got to be something normal that you can get through.
Yeah.
Again, nobody wants to. I The only way that I would feel comfortable with one of my real cameras would be is if they said, "All right, uh, you know, you can use your GoPro, but you need like a wrist strap, and I have one right here. You
Hmm.
put this on your wrist, you pull that tight. I could die, and this is just going to hang off my wrist. It's not
Yep.
going anywhere, and it's mounted by a screw at the top. I would take something like that on if they let me, because it's not going to hurt anybody. I really wish they would. I was actually thinking about asking SeaWorld and say,
Yeah.
here's my accounts. I have millions of views. I would love to get some of your coasters. Could you, set something up where I will, bring my DJI/GoPro and wear a wrist mount and, get some footage and put it up for you guys. They might let me.
They might. There's not a lot of people that cover SeaWorld. There are some, but there's not a lot.
I would tell SeaWorld, I know my account is Disney and Universal focused, but you're trying to get people that go to Universal and Disney to try out SeaWorld. So I'd be the perfect person to have over, say, hey, Disney people, check out SeaWorld. Hey, Universal coaster people, look at these coasters, pretty cool, huh? So that would actually get me some use out of my new DJI camera. That'd be nice. So I should contact them.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, that'd be fun too. I enjoy recording roller coasters.
Yeah, very cool.
That's what I was going to say too. I've been recording roller coasters since digital cameras first came out. And even back then, I had a small digital camera that recorded decent video, had a wrist strap on it. And I remember recording Everest. This is like 2007, 2006. That's where I got my Yeti video where you can see him move. I was recording back then. I'm sure that was not appreciated at the time, but
well, nobody really said much back then, right? So
yeah, nobody was trying it because it was all pretty new. But but anyway, yeah, enough about me. That's about it for the parks, and I'm sure I've gone many times outside of that, but I just wanted to cover the last few. So no need to have a 5-hour podcast about parks I went to.
well, how did your social media do for the week, John?
That's a good question. I always forget that we touch on that too. My Disney's been doing well. I'm up to 137,000 followers. So that's been growing. I did want to mention I did not get invited to anything, and my Journey of Water is at almost 15,000 likes, 183,000 views. Last time I looked, I did some references. allears.net, I think they had like 6,000 likes on their video with their special media access. So, I'm only doing 2 to 3 times what the professionals are doing. So I guess Disney doesn't need to ask me anything. No need to invite me. Here's my Space Mountain with the lights on, 918,000.
Yeah.
It's got
Nice.
70,000. The one I really wanted to talk about, 2.3 million, my Everest video. And this really isn't even this exciting part. 252,000 likes. And this is just the first 90 seconds, that not even the most exciting 90 seconds, like the last 90 is better than this, but it doesn't do as good. But, so 2.3 million. So yeah, I've had some doing well. And again, they just keep going. The Everest keeps going. The Journey of Water keeps going. I honestly think it's not the most popular one, but it's one of the more popular videos about the section because it's happy. You can see people having fun. It's just really good. And even I was impressed. I'm like, wow, that was very watchable when I made it. So again, I should send that to Disney and say, what the heck, and if they have a problem with my Space Mountain with the lights on, I didn't even record that. I've never been on Space Mountain with the lights on. That's a former cast member gave it to me. So it wasn't me though. It's a former cast member that I happen to be married to. So.
So I wasn't going to say it, but I knew where it came from.
But I pressured to do it. I was like, well, make sure you get a video. If you can get a video. She's like, all right. So she didn't want to get a video, probably. She definitely wouldn't have. But I was like, get a video, get a video. If they let you get a video, make sure you get a video. So
you got Figment? Did you get Figment?
No.
Okay.
I messaged the guy Drew in the Moment. He's a live streamer, and I've met him many times. Super nice guy. Him and his wife, and I know his wife always does reels while she's there. Like, so I messaged her and I said, if you want to do a collab on Figment, I would love that. Then because I'm not going to wait. They waited 5 hours. I said, I'm not going near that. I'd rather do nothing. So. But so I literally just had him do it. And again, it did pretty decent. It did all right, but not something I would, go out of my way to look into. And let me see. The other thing I was going to say, my Universal has been very slow lately. Not terrible. It's at 143,000, which that's big. But I feel like everything is doing mid.
Mm-hmm.
Call it. It's not exciting what it's doing, and not really anything big. No matter what I put up, like I can get some low to mid numbers, but that's about all I'm getting. So. Yeah, sorry for the dog again. She's just extremely vocal, and she doesn't listen to me. So. But yeah, I don't really have anything too big on this. 143,000. It's not doing terrible, but it's not doing great. I got a lot of collabs on this, and I decided to take them since Universal's not going to have me there. I'm like, I'm just going to allow some of these collabs because it can't hurt, like this girl, she's been collaborating with me for a while. Very nice person, but she just does food around Orlando. Universal invited her to tour all the houses, and I'm like, yeah, her audience is a fraction of the size of mine, and
did you ask her how she got invited? Like, could maybe?
No, they just invite her. That's they like I said, it's. I did not ask her, but they invited a lot of people, and like I said, she sent that to me. And at first I was mad. I'm like, oh, I'm too salty. I don't want. I can't believe I'm not invited with all my views and audience and my reach. And then I took a deep breath and said, at least I'm connected with something with it, right? And if Universal doesn't like me, that looks even better too, because the people that they do invite still want to be on my page. So whatever. So I did it anyway. But yeah, overall, nothing too exciting going on with that. I did want to mention TikTok's been a little bit slowed down just recently, but I'm up to 180,000. So
that's great.
My Everest video on here that got 2 million views on Instagram is up to 13 million on TikTok. So a little bit of difference. But and I did want to mention this too. I don't talk about it a lot, and I don't really have anything to show it on here. My SeeWDW Facebook is up to 12,000 followers. That's nice. And I'm making more money on that than I am on anything else outside of TikTok. Like I'm making a few hundred from ads on Reels. I'm making like $100 on in-stream ads so far. It's not a lot, but it's a significant amount. And you know what I'm making on my Instagram where I have millions of views lately? Absolutely nothing, not a single penny in any way, nothing. And I'm like, that is just sad. Instagram is a shameful platform for stuff like that. Just the amount of views that I get, but yeah, I didn't add it up in a while, but I'm at the point where I might say I have probably close to 500,000 followers, and my reach is probably at least 20 million a month. And again, and I don't get invited to anything, you know. I'm not really breaking any rules with Disney. I don't, it'd be nice, but you know what's funny though? I think they look for people that do the weird articles and the breakdowns, you know, like the blogs and the articles that nobody actually reads. Like, so I think that's what they're looking for too. But again, I just think they're out of touch. So I really do. But anyway, I think with the Universal, especially, I'm just going to go for. I'm just going to lean into it, and you know, I should post my new Velocicoaster and say sometimes you got to break the rules to. I should poke fun at them, but see, I don't want to poke at Universal though, because at some point they will stop people from recording it, even with normal means like the glasses. They're going to be like, no glasses, you know, like if they literally will probably step it up even more. So I don't want to poke them too much, but
they'll clamp down.
Accumulation of good videos though.
Yeah.
And so far, there's not many people that I see that are doing what I do. So, in the big scheme of things, that's pretty cool.
Yes, it is.
Usually there's people that do what you do, and then they do it even better than you. It's the problem. It's awkward, but so far I'm doing good though.
Yeah. All right, John. Where can they find you online?
Well, I recommend SeeWDW on TikTok or Facebook. Otherwise, I won't get paid anything. I'm also on Instagram and YouTube, and then SeeUO on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, and you can find me at The Giant Rat on all the socials. That's THEE Giant Rat, and that should do it for this one. No stream, no podcast on Friday because I will be on my way to Central Florida. So we will see you on the next one next week. Right, John?
Yep.
All right. We will see you then.